Kingdom Builders Change the World, Chapter 21. The Kingdom Project, How to Get Started. Every local church should be a kingdom embassy planted in their community with the goal of really expanding kingdom principles all around the local church. They should help usher in the kingdom of God through not only inward projects, but outward projects to the community around them. Now, an embassy is always a picture of the home country, and I've been to many American embassies around the world. So the church should feel and really look like heaven because we are citizens of heaven, and the kingdom of God began in heaven. It is now being planted in the earth through individuals, but primarily through churches who advance the kingdom principles. So churches should not only preach and demonstrate the presence of the kingdom, but they should have outreaches such as caring for the needy and the poor and so forth. The kingdom of God is the kingdom of light, and what light does is shines the right pathway for everyone, but it also exposes darkness. And that's one thing that kingdom embassies or churches should be involved in on a regular basis. I use one example from the city of Cincinnati, where back in the 1980s, the church leaders in the community were tired of the pornography because it has many other problems that come along with it, such as gambling, immorality, and all sorts of things like that. And so the pastors got together, planned a project to get rid of pornography from Cincinnati, and they achieved it, and the city was clean of all pornography. Another thing I advocate as a kingdom project is that every member of a church has different gifts and ministries. Some may be plumbers, some may be carpenters, some may understand wiring, some may understand tutoring, some may understand how to care for the elderly. And so I believe that every local church as a kingdom embassy should develop a kingdom service directory that literally is given out to members and even the local community of services that members can provide. So if you have a particular area of expertise, you ought to be listed in this directory, and it should be provided just like Yellow Pages, but a much smaller volume just for the local area. Also, the Kingdom Project should include outreaches which are both practical and beneficial. And these should be general services that every local church can implement and provide for their community. The kingdom projects obviously include preparing teams who can carry out the various services. And that I believe each group should be 5 or more people so that the kingdom projects are where everyone gets involved in the community, not so much inwardly, but more outwardly, because Jesus' approach was always outward, away from himself. And in this chapter, I go through a list of various possible projects that kingdom embassies or churches can establish. For example, prayer. That's one of the lost arts of the kingdom of God, is that prayer is the communication line with the King himself to advance the kingdom of God in the present time and place. We need to return to regular prayer meetings where we can gather together, not just to pray for ourselves, but to pray for the community around the church, to really reach out to those through prayers. A second way I provide for is through prayer walks, and I've done this myself, is where you take a map, you look at where the church is, put out a circumference of a half a mile in all directions, begin to walk the streets, and begin to pray for the people in the houses. And if you meet someone, ask if you can pray for them. And it's always been a positive response from the people themselves. And I talk about other projects, spring and fall cleaning of the lawns, cutting grass, and so forth. Or especially around Christmas, singing Christmas carols. That's a lost art, but it should be reestablished. So our projects should be practical and beneficial in all that we do. And in this chapter, I give a great number of possible projects But the list is obviously not exhaustive. So you need to understand that according to Ephesians 4:16, Paul says that the body has been fitted and held together according to the proper function of every part. So kingdom projects are getting all the kingdom citizens involved in kingdom projects.